A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hello everyone, welcome to A+ English. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just checking. We just want to make sure we know who we are.
Yeah.
We also want to know where we are at all times because just like yesterday, we are around busy streets, fast-moving cars and trucks, all that traffic. And if you're not paying attention, if you don't know where you are and what's going on, you could get in trouble.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday we met Ethan and Rose. They were walking around the city and they were kind of doing things in a safe way. Well, Ethan was trying to. Rose was in a bit of a hurry, but it seems, I think, they got where they were going without any problem. But that was, of course, just when they were walking down the street, crossing the street, using the sidewalk, that sort of thing that most people do all the time. Today, though, for day 2, we're going to be looking at something that only older people will be doing. That's driving.
Really?
Right? Well, young people, you know, you don't see a 12-year-old driving to school in the morning.
That's true.
That would be really bad. But let's talk about driving. Some of you might already know how to drive. Some of you might be planning to learn this skill in the next few years. But here's a good question. Do you want to learn to drive a car? Why or why not?
I do have a driver's license.
You do know how to drive a car?
I do.
Okay.
Well, you can't say that. Just because I have a license doesn't mean I know how to drive.
True.
I mean, I actually passed the test with a very high score.
Good for you.
But I got on the road 4 times in Taiwan, and I got fined 3 times.
Oh, so how did you pass the test very well?
I don't know.
And then end up being a dangerous driver?
A totally different thing.
I think it is.
And it's so much easier for me to drive in the States, but like in Taiwan, it gets so difficult for me.
It is frustrating driving here. There's a lot of cars on the streets. The streets are quite narrow. And you're right, sometimes the way they teach people how to drive is one thing, and the way people drive in the real world is totally different. So you do, again, like you said yesterday, you need to be careful. You need to pay attention. You don't know what the person in that car is doing next and what they're thinking, if they're even paying attention. So it's important for you to pay attention because you can't control some of the other crazy people in cars all around you. But do learn to drive. It's a good skill. Do it safely. Be careful. And always, always pay attention. And also, when you're studying English, pay attention to our article. The dialogue starts now. Put that phone down. Pay attention. Stop drinking coffee.
Welcome to Picture Dictionary. Skywalk, jaywalk, traffic light, underpass, hook turn, scooter, crossroads, intersection, road sign, pedestrian, zebra crossing, crosswalk, walk signal.
Look both ways and cross the street. Warm-up question. Do you want to learn to drive a car? Why or why not?
Ethan is driving Rose around the city in a car. He stops at an intersection.
There are no people on the crosswalk. Why don't you keep driving?
There's a yellow light. That means I have to slow down and stop.
Okay. Hey, that scooter didn't stop.
He ran the red light. That's pretty dangerous. It can cause an accident.
Right. I don't want to get in a car crash. I'll follow all the road signs.
Good idea. Look, there's a skywalk above us. It's safer for pedestrians at a busy crossroad like this.
Yeah, I like to walk on skywalks. It's pretty cool.
All right, so yes, just like yesterday, Ethan and Rose are back. There are two favorite characters when it comes to road safety, and this time they're actually on the road being safe, not walking next to it. We know that because it says Ethan is driving Rose around the city in a car. So they're in their own car. Ethan's driving, Rose is the passenger. And then we read, he stops at an intersection. Yesterday, we had them waiting to cross the street at a crossroads. And here we're having them cross or stopping at an intersection, as I explained yesterday. Basically, where two roads meet, where they, where you can turn left, turn right, or continue to go straight. We would call that a crossroads or an intersection.
所以呢 wow, Rose is so lucky. 她还可以被那个开来开去。Yeah,
she has a driver.
Yeah, I like to be a passenger, in a car. You can get to see the view around the city. So nice. 好，所以 drive someone around 就是开车载。所以 Ethan 他就开着 Rose 绕着城市。老师昨天讲过嘛 intersection 跟 crossroad 都是十字路口的意思。
Absolutely, yeah. So, as we begin the dialogue, Rose is just kind of sitting there, like you said, as the passenger. She gives a bit more time to just kind of look out the window and see what's going on in the world. And as they're sitting there, I guess, waiting for the light to turn from red to green, showing that they can drive on, they can continue, Rose notices something. She says, there are no people on the crosswalk. Why don't you keep driving? Rose... What are you thinking? Why are you even saying this? That's a crazy idea. But I see her point. We're sitting there. Maybe it's early in the morning, late at night. It's not busy outside. It's not like lunchtime or school hasn't just finished and there's lots of people going and coming from all places. No, there's no people on the crosswalk. There's nobody there. Why don't you keep driving? Why don't you just kind of go through the crosswalk and continue on? Because there's no one to hit. There's no one around. There's no police. We won't get in trouble. Let's just keep going.
I have to admit, sometimes I do that.
No, you
but
can't do that.
Yeah, it's not right. Don't do that, okay?
Plus, they have cameras now everywhere.
Yeah, so be safe. Try to be safe.
Catch you.
所以一定要遵守交通规则，不要像我一样。好，所以疑问词呢 why 的用法是什么意思呢？就是 why don't you do something？ 就是你干嘛不去？所以有一种提议或建议的感觉。所以如果说就说又没有人在斑马线，你干嘛不继续开就好啦？ Oh, no, when you're walking, I think it's fine, but when you're driving, don't do that. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, no, especially in driving, because people can come quickly. You might not see them.
所以比如我可以跟你说 Why don't you tell him that you're sorry? 你干嘛不跟他道歉？或者是 Why don't we eat here?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, 就是一种我们不如在这边吃饭吧
Yeah, we should eat there. So that's a suggestion, right? You think this is a good idea, and you're just putting it out there, see what the other person thinks, all right? So she kind of thinks this is a good idea. Let's keep driving. There's no one in the way. We won't have any trouble. But Ethan says, there's a yellow light. That means I have to slow down and stop. Okay, so they're probably still driving slowly forward a little bit, but the light is yellow. Sometimes that will also be described as an amber light, A-M-B-E-R, which is, I think, a slightly dark yellow. But basically, it's the light between green, which is go, and red, which is stop. Yellow means slow down and stop, or get ready to slow down and stop. Yellow does not mean go faster because the light will be red soon. A lot of people drive that way. They see yellow and they're like, oh, I gotta go faster now, woo! Because they think if they beat the red, as we would say, if they get through before the red light, yay, I win. No, you're dumb and you're being dangerous. Yeah. So yellow basically means slow down and stop, or get ready to, because the light will change to red soon.
Yeah.
Slow down, man. Slow down.
所以呢，为什么 Ethan 不继续开？因为现在是黄灯啊，要代表要减速慢下来。看到黄灯不是说要加速赶快冲过去哦，是要减速停下来才对。
Well, now as Ethan is being safe, doing the right thing, and we should point out, obeying the law, because really you should slow down on that yellow light. Rose notices someone who is not slowing down, who is not being safe, who is not obeying the law. And she goes, okay, hey, that scooter didn't stop. It just whoosh went right by. It did what Rose suggested. It went faster to get through the yellow light before the red.
Somebody is not obeying the rule.
Well, yeah, someone could be in trouble if the police see you. They'll chase after you and give you a ticket.
Yeah, 所以 Rose 就说，等一下，你看那个汽车没有停哎。
That's right. Exactly. Now the driver might think, "Yay, I win," and Rose might think, "Wow, he's so cool." But Ethan is right. Ethan says he ran the red light. When you run a red light, you go through a light that's telling you to stop. You should stop, but you decided to drive through it. Again, it's dangerous and it's illegal. As Ethan points out, that's pretty dangerous. It can cause an accident. Yes, it absolutely can. People aren't prepared to see cars coming through the intersection or the crossroads right as the light changes red. By that time, you should have slowed down and you should be stopping, not driving faster.
Yeah, 所以这边出现 run the red light 代表他闯红灯了，所以呢非常的危险呢，这样超容易发生车祸，也不要闯黄灯。I think running a yellow light is also very dangerous.
It is very dangerous. The only time you should do it is if it's maybe wet and you're very close to the yellow light, and if you try to stop, the car could slide.
Oh, yeah.
But really, you shouldn't be driving that fast, and if you have any kind of time, the yellow's a warning. At that time, you stop going fast, you start slowing down. So really, there are very few times when it's okay to run a yellow light or, of course, run a red light. But as now Rose, I think, she's starting to listen to Ethan. She's starting to know that, yeah, well, maybe this is good advice. Maybe he's being wise and smart here. She says, right, I don't want to get in a car crash. No, nobody wants to get in a car crash. Never mind if you're fine. The car will be damaged. It'll be a lot of trouble, a lot of money. And of course, it could be much worse. You can end up in the hospital. Or even worse, you could put another person in the hospital.
Yeah.
Or even kill a person. I mean, this does happen. And it happens too much often because people aren't following the rules and aren't paying attention. Yeah. So Rose is realizing, getting somewhere 5 minutes sooner, it's not that important. She says, I don't want to get in a car crash. I'll follow all the road signs.
Great idea.
Good for you, Rose.
Yeah. 所以这边的 car crash 就是撞车事故或事故，其实也可以说 car accident 啊，他们两个差不多。Right, so Rose, who wants to get into a car crash?
No one wants to get in a car. Have you ever been in a car crash?
Yeah, I did.
It's not fun.
3 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I still got a scar on my foot.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad. So you have to follow the rules.
You definitely have to
because I ran a yellow light.
Oh.
So it's a lesson for me. Don't do that. Yeah,
there you go. You're a walking example, and we're glad you're still walking around.
Yeah, 所以呢，不想车祸嘛。
Bad things can happen and happen quickly when you're out on the road. Anyways, Ethan says, good idea. It's a good idea to follow all the traffic rules and all that stuff. Look, he says, there's a skywalk above us. Oh, okay. The skywalk is sort of the opposite of the underpass that we learned about yesterday. This is the one where there's stairs going up from the road and kind of a bridge, but not for cars to use, for people to use. So you'll climb the steps, cross over the skywalk. Sometimes it's just called a pedestrian bridge.
Yeah.
Right? A bridge for people who are walking. Here we're using the term skywalk. And as Ethan points out, it's safer for pedestrians at a busy crossroad like this. Yeah, it really is. And of course, yes, you have to climb the stairs, but you don't have to stand there waiting for the red lights, right? And sometimes you can get across the street much faster as long as you don't mind getting a little exercise climbing up the skywalk.
Yeah, 所以呢 Rose 看到什么呢 Skywalk 就是天桥的意思，所以呢在比较复杂热闹的地段，其实走天桥会是比较安全的选择哦。
And Rose says, yeah, I like to walk on skywalks. It's pretty cool. Well, that's actually true. There's a couple of skywalks in Taipei, I know. If you go there at sunset, you'll see all these guys with cameras.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And they use them to get really cool pictures of the sun and the traffic and stuff. So, you're a few meters above the ground. It gives you a little bit of a bird's eye view, a view like a bird might have of the neighborhood and that kind of thing. So that's another thing. If you try to use the skywalk, of course, it'll be safer. It might save you some time. You'll get a bit of exercise. and you'll have a nice view.
Yeah, and you can see that actually a lot of people film movies on skywalks.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, 因为这太漂亮了。
It's a cool place.
对，所以 Rose 就说我好喜欢走天桥，好酷哦。
All right, so that's about all the time we have for me, but there'll be more from you, and then we'll be back to review, and it's going to be really great. So we'll see you in a second.
我们今天呢讲到很多有关交通规则的事物，那我们先来讲几个比较常见的交通违规行为怎么说。所以我们今天在文章中看到的 run the red light 就是闯红灯，所以如果闯黄灯，你就把 red 改成 yellow 就好啦。那有时候呢 if you drink and that's called drunk driving 就是酒驾，这也是绝对不可以做的哟。或者是呢有些人呢可能撞到人就逃跑了，肇事逃逸的人呢，英文我们就可以说他是一个 hit and run driver， 或者是如果你超速的话，那就是 speeding。那当然如果你超速或做这些事情，你就会被开罚单嘛，那开罚单就是 get fined。所以我们造一个句子 He got fined because of speeding， 他因为超速就被开罚了。那一样呢，我们今天有提到他们在城市绕绕开车绕绕 city 就是城市的意思，但是如果在英国呢说 the city 通常指的就是伦敦商业区的意思。所以比如说 Does he work in the city？ 他是在伦敦区上班吗？但是呢其实在其他地方也差不多，普遍说 in the city 就是指在当地比较热闹的中心或市区。那在美国的话，有些报社地方啊，他们的新闻部、地方新闻部，我们也会说 city desk。所以我们再看那个句子 ，London is the biggest city in the UK。伦敦呢是英国最大的城市。那我们也有看到说，你看到黄灯要干嘛？你不能超速哦，你要 slow down。所以 slow down 就是慢下来或减速。所以如果我们中间加一个人或加一个东西，那就代表拖慢什么。所以比如说。If you come with me, you'll just slow me down. 如果你跟我来的话，你只是会拖慢我而已。那我们再看一个 slow down 的句子。I need to slow down when I eat because I often eat very fast. 我吃东西的时候要放慢速度，因为我觉得我吃东西真的有点吃太快了。那我们刚刚有说到，如果你不好好遵守交通规则的话，你就会发生 accident。那这个 accident 就是意外或者是事故，所以有一个蛮常见的片语叫做 by accident， 它就是会有意外的或者是偶然的感觉。比如说 Martha deleted the file by accident， 代表玛莎不小心把文件删除了。那我们再看另外一个 accident 的句子。George is in the hospital because he broke his leg in a motorcycle accident. George 现在人在医院里面，因为他发生了一场机车事故，而且他的腿居然受伤了。那我们呢，最后一个字说，你看到 there's a skywalk above us， 上面有一个天桥，这个 above 指的就是在上面或在上方的意思。所以我们有一个蛮常见的片语叫做 above all， 它指的就是 most importantly 的感觉，所以就是有首先怎么样怎么样，或最重要的事是什么什么什么。所以比如说 above all, I'd like to thank you all for your support， 就是首先呢，我要谢谢大家，谢谢你们的支持。那我们再看另外一个句子 The brown line of the MRT runs above the ground， 就是呢，台北的捷运棕线是在地面上方行驶的。
Hello， 大家好，我是 Peggy。我今天呢，想要跟大家承认一件事情，那就是我不会开车，我连机车驾照都没有，所以我出门呢，不是搭乘大众运输工具，就是家人朋友载我。My mom drives me around town all the time。通常呢，都是我妈载我到处跑啦。这个 drive somebody around 就是开车载某人的意思。当然，你可以载人载狗都可以。比如说，我一个朋友就很喜欢载他家的狗狗出门兜风。Tim likes to drive his dog around the city。这个 drive around 呢，通常是比较没有目的性的，就是到处跑去兜风的感觉。那所以我们也可以这样造句。My friend William drove me around when I was in Tainan。我在台南的时候呢，是 William 当地陪载我到处玩。你说为什么我没有驾照？Why don't you have a driver's license？ 因为台北的大众运输很方便啊，没有开车的必要。Why should I learn how to drive when the public transportation is so convenient？ 大众运输这么方便，我干嘛还要学开车嘞 这里我们用到了2个 why 的疑问句，大家应该已经猜到了。Why 就是为什么的意思，为什么你不学开车？为什么你没有驾照？你可以用肯定问法，直接就是 why 疑问词加上助动词或 be 动词，再加上主词或动词。比如说 Why are you late for school？ 因为我昨天晚上熬夜了，所以我今天早上迟到了。Why did you stay up late last night？ 你昨天晚上为什么熬夜呢？当然，你也可以用否定问法反过来问。这时候呢，助动词或 be 动词后面就要改成否定的形式。Why couldn't you sleep last night？ 为什么你昨天晚上睡不着？ Why aren't you tired right now？ 你为什么现在不累啊？昨天晚上睡不着又熬夜，现在不累，看起来奇怪，是回光返照吗？Why 的疑问句呢，其实就只有这4种这么简单啦。Why don't you practice a bit more so you will remember how to use it？ 为什么不练习一下，把它记起来呢
Review time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's our review time now. And so what are we going to review? We're going to review some words.
Yeah.
Well, words and a phrase also.
What were our words?
Sorry?
We had 4 words today.
We did.
And what were they?
You don't remember? We should do a review before we do the review.
Yeah, we should do that.
This is the review.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You can't review if you haven't reviewed. So we'll review the review and then we'll review the review by playing a game. City.
Okay.
Slow down.
Okay, slow down.
Accident and above.
Oh, okay.
City, slow down, accident, and above.
Thank
so
you. Now
what game are we going to play?
Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks. Okay, we're going to play fill in the blanks. So the other day I was driving through the blank.
I was driving through the city.
Right, and I saw 2 people that had just had a blank.
Oh my God, they had an accident.
That's right. One car was going fast and he didn't have time to blank.
Slow down.
So he hit the other car and one car ended up blank the other car.
Above.
It flew above the other car.
Oh my goodness.
Just like in a movie. It
That's
was
so bad.
very
Did
exciting.
anyone get injured?
I don't know. I got there late. They didn't
okay.
tell me. But there were ambulances there. Oh, it was very dramatic. And it showed that you really need to blank.
You'd really need to be careful.
You really need to blank.
You really need to
Again.
slow down.
Yes, or you might have a blank.
You might have an accident.
You might have an accident. That's right. So there you go. 6 reviews with 4 words. That's a new record.
Yeah.
I think we need to slow down with our review. So that's all the time we have, guys. We'll see you next time in the future. And until then, be safe out there. Keep your head moving. Look out. Pay attention.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going to do and what could happen. So anything could happen. So do be careful on or near the road. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Follow traffic rules.
Always.
Welcome to Picture Dictionary. Skywalk, jaywalk, traffic light, underpass, hook turn, scooter, crossroads, intersection, road sign, pedestrian, zebra crossing, crosswalk, walk signal.
Look both ways and cross the street. Warm-up question. Do you want to learn to drive a car? Why or why not?
Ethan is driving Rose around the city in a car. He stops at an intersection.
There are no people on the crosswalk. Why don't you keep driving?
There's a yellow light. That means I have to slow down and stop.
Okay. Hey, that scooter didn't stop.
He ran the red light. That's pretty dangerous. It can cause an accident.
Right. I don't want to get in a car crash. I'll follow all the road signs.
Good idea. Look, there's a skywalk above us. It's safer for pedestrians at a busy crossroad like this.
Yeah, I like to walk on skywalks. It's pretty cool.
Word power. City, city. London is the biggest city in the UK. London is the biggest city in the UK. Slow down. Slow down. I need to slow down when I eat because I often eat very fast. I need to slow down when I eat because I often eat very fast. Accident. Accident. George is in the hospital because he broke his leg in a motorcycle accident. George is in the hospital because he broke his leg in a motorcycle accident. Above. Above. The brown line of the MRT runs above the ground. The brown line of the MRT runs above the ground.
认识字汇
Crash. Crash.